Okay, sweet. I'm live. Um, cool. Welcome to this new kind of stream thing. Um, I am I'm here, pretty much just chilling. Uh, yeah. What we're doing now is we're gonna look at StackOverflow and we're gonna answer random JavaScript questions on there. I see my camera is a bit like slow and like not really doing stuff, so it might be worth just like hiding myself. I don't know. I'll show you my laggy camera. But basically, Stack Overflow is a questions and answers site for programmers. It's like the React community is huge on here, so you can like get a lot of questions and stuff answered on here. I just wanted to try this, see how it goes. If we have fun, we'll do it again. If it sucks, we'll never do it again. But yeah, let me know in the comments and stuff if you enjoy it. So yeah, I've got like my little profile here. I'm trying to go for like my little gold badge. Just waiting for this to actually go there. Maybe I should like not full screen this. Um, there we go. I don't know. My internet's kind of slowed down for some reason now. But yeah, I got a profile here and I'm trying to get my like fanatic badge, which is be online for 100 consecutive days. Kind of since our lockdown started, I've been like, cool, let's go for that. Um, but yeah, I do see that my internet is very slow and it's not actually like doing much. But maybe it'll get better. I'm sorry. I'm sorry if things are a bit laggy. Um, yeah, so this is the way I build reputation is by just going around and answering questions. And this is like really good for like a CV or resume, for people to see that you actually know what you're doing because you can answer questions to people. And I'm following a bunch of tags. I probably don't need to follow the CSS and stuff like in Fitbit, so I don't answer that. But mostly I just get tags related to ReactJS. Maybe I should edit this so that I'm specifically getting React Native. I might be able to answer some of that stuff. But we'll add TypeScript to this list because I'm good at that. And Redux, just because I'm pretty alright at that. Maybe styled components is something I do a lot of. So why did that happen? Styled components. My gosh, this is not working for me very well. Okay, let's edit this list. Styled. Can't read anything. This is horrible. There we go. That's what I was looking for. Cool. So I've updated my like watch tag list. And yeah, let's go like just find unanswered questions that are out there. JavaScript jQuery, not too keen on that. I don't know what kind of JavaScript this guy is using to show and hide a div. This is messy. A lot of this time it's just like luck. People might ask good questions. They might ask really weird questions. This guy might just have a small issue. Page should start from hide mode, then when click on get into time, nothing happens. So this guy made like a code sandbox thing. So we can actually go and check it out. Or code pen, same thing. So yeah, let's see if we can see what he's trying to do and see if we can fix it and then tell him what to do. But he's pretty much saying if this element info holder current display is none, then he wants to set it to display block and opacity like that. Okay, sweet. Oh my gosh, my internet's too slow for this question. Some questions are too hard. What's up with this guy's problem? Why can't I load his thing? Okay, cool. So this guy, what he's made here is some JavaScript function to show and hide an element if you like get something. And let's see, where is his actual element? Okay, is it starting off info holder? Come on, dude. Where's the file? Where's the actual HTML? Has anyone answered this yet? Have they said anything? Okay, when click on get into the first time, nothing happens. JS appears to get triggered only after the second click. Okay, so this thing starts as a show hide, but I mean, where are you? Like, Where's the info holder? So there's HTML in there. This is our info holder. Oh, it's that little info holder down there. Okay, so when I click on it, nothing happens. See if the console says anything, and then it shows something. Okay, so let's console.log in here just to see if this actually runs first time. Event fired. Cool. I don't want to save anything, sorry. So if I do this now, okay, so the event does fire the first time. But this display is none here. So let me try and find out a little bit more about what's wrong. Let's console.log the e.style.display to make sure. Sorry, .log that and see what is actually going on here. But this cord is annoying me. There we go. Okay, sweet. So, okay, e.display. What's wrong here? Okay, well, let's try run it again. I'll click on this. So this e.display is, the style.display here is empty. So if we look at this info holder here, where's the style display? Yeah, so it's that. Okay. The problem this guy has is that's definitely not happening. Let's add a comment to show. Yeah, this guy's already figured it out. Okay, that's correct. So what would have happened is if we went in here and he just initially at the beginning of like initializing his element, like that, then we know that that will be none by default. So now if you click this, it shows immediately. Yeah, and you don't need this block anymore. So I guess I could update, like, okay, he's already done the demo as well. I said I could add my own answer in here to just show what it should be like. And he's already done it like as is there. So no need for me to do anything here. This guy's already answered it. Question was pretty good. I think he did a good job explaining it. Would be nice if he formatted it more. I'm not going to do that now for him, but like, yeah, it's good to encourage people to ask questions if their questions are good and they've given some, thought to it. Node.js. The nice thing about this as well, like checking out Stack Overflow for questions, is seeing what other people are trying to accomplish, and it kind of inspires me in my own stuff to do things. But yeah, error importing something. Okay, trying to create a playground using monocodes and VS Code language server too. I don't think I'm going to be able to answer this because I just don't understand these kinds of things. Yeah. Module found can't resolve child processing. Yeah, this is just like VS Code stuff. I'm not very good at like solving IDE bugs, so I'm gonna leave that one. I mean, this person's already answered this, but he said he had a problem with his routing. But yeah. Oh, you got to do some like exact path stuff here. Yeah. Sweet. Okay. I'm also a bit lost here. I love how this video has way more views than any of my other stuff, and this is the one where I stand around, sit around, and talk and do nothing and get nothing right. So it's a bit annoying. Let's see, anyone else ask any like useful questions that I can, maybe an Axios request. Trying to crawl a website using Node.js and making HTTP requests. I'm using Axios. I'm able to only fetch those items which are available when the web page is loaded. All HTML which is loaded when I scroll down further is not fetched. Here is my code. Okay, so he's got this URL. What's the problem? I'm trying to get all the university names. However, I'm only able to get 13 universities because others are loaded only when the page is manually scrolled down. This guy's doing like a web scraper. I haven't worked with these either, so I can't really help him. But it's a cool question. He's just basically like, yeah, he's getting this. I wonder if there's like a best colleges kind of thing. So he's looking at the list, and this list that he's looking at only like lists things, like it sort of fetches things out, like he's scraping this web, which is pretty interesting. So he's got the HTML, and that's what he's getting, and it only fetches the university dates like when you scroll down. So he's got to do something where he's like scrolling down, like he's got to trigger like a scroll, but it's just really messy, so I'm not going to give an answer to this because like I don't want to be like ridiculed for giving a crappy answer. I wish there was one thing that I could answer here. That's a dumb question, apparently. That's why it's closed. Let's look through this. Is there anything that catches my eye? Don't like WordPress. Tried that one already. Bouncing animation, JavaScript. I wonder what that one looks like. Okay, the target, if a fish hits the corner, it should bounce or swim the other way. Problem, if I run this code, the fish doesn't leave the screen, but just stays there instead of bouncing back. How do I make it bounce from the walls? Okay, I guess he just needs to make the... So he's done a loop, this game is running, and if the fish, like x, gets smaller than 1, it should... Okay, so he just says fish x equals minus fish x. But you still want to make the... How does he set the direction? Is there any way where you're actually setting the direction of this? I can't spell peace right. Is there a particular piece of code that dictates the direction of the fish? Because what he's got is basically this little fish thing where he creates a fish, which is just like a blob and a bubble and stuff. The fish is this class, the bubble is a class, and screen width and screen height is just the full HTML. And the fish has got like color, and I think that must be the position, random number between 2 and 12. And y is a random number between 2 and 12. So that must be the direction that he's going in, because he's translated by fish.x. So that's his position, actually. His position is basically going to start at a random place on the screen, and then it's in this loop. If the fish is like smaller than 1 or bigger than like 150, which I think should be actually just the screen width and height, then yeah, he shouldn't hard code those. He should say like screen width and screen height. But yeah, he's running these commands, and he says in there he'll say fish x minus fish at x equals minus fish at x. I don't get this. I don't understand. Like, so he's got this position, but he's not actually like saying that the fish is moving. I almost want to like set this in our own code pen. Let's make a code pen project and like copy what he did there. Let's leave these pages. Yeah, let's just start coding. Copy what he did here. Okay, there's his HTML. And there's his JavaScript. Okay. So now, okay, what's wrong with this? HTML that goes in the body, goes here. I guess I don't need that doc type HTML. Okay, cool. I'm gonna need him to show me his styles. You also post your or replicated version in CodePen. That might help. So it's good to put in comments to ask questions that might help them improve their question, because right now I don't really know how to solve this, mainly because, yeah, I understand there's random number, that's cool. Like, there's a position here, but there's nothing that actually, like, you know, makes the fish, like, go in a certain direction. Like this request animation frame game loop, yeah, the game loop is happening, I think. This is messy, guys. This is messy. Like, I don't see anything that's actually making him move. I guess the random thing is the thing that makes him move in a random, like, at a random speed in a random direction. So X could be any number, like, possible. Okay, so this basically means that let's pretend that X was 3 and Y was 3. The fish would be translating, like, moving to a point. Okay. But what's actually happening is this is just moving the fish. It's not keeping track of the translated fish, is it? No, this is weird, guys. I don't get it. Because even if this refreshed, the fish is not, like, he says the problem is that his if he tries to run the code, the fish doesn't leave the screen but just stays there instead of bouncing back. I don't feel like it's even swimming. Is it swimming? Like, so if the fish hits the boundary, he stops. So that's good. He doesn't leave the screen, but he stops. I think he should just be fish at x minus, just fish at dot x equals minus. So it means that like value gets reversed. It's good, but I mean, I just don't understand. Oh, the fish goes and then he hits minus x and he still stays there. That's maybe what the problem is. Oh my gosh, guys, I'm so confused. So he has changed that so it goes a different direction. But I don't understand this guy's app, guys. But nobody else does either, so it's very confusing. So I'm gonna leave that. Okay, create React app problems. I'm good at these. I'm trying to start a new project, but I'm getting this error and the app is not created. I've installed React globally. Okay, create React. Yep, that's right. Have a call. Okay, maybe he just needs to update his create React app. No, that doesn't help me. let me just ask him, are you running the latest version of Create React app? Let's put that in like little cool things. The lastest, I mean to say the latest. Okay, that's a good question too. Okay, he's got his log file, unexpected error while doing that. Installing might take a couple of them. So he's just running a normal Create React app. You just look up npx Create React app, because that should work fine. Cool. Let's ask him to run this. Let's just ask him to create it like this. Like the yeah. Creating an app like the recommended way on reactjs.org. By the core React team. Should solve your issue. Let me just see, maybe he's commented and said. I feel like that would make sure that it's building the right stuff. At reactjs.org. Okay, down here we make a link. reactjs.org. Do this. And in space of my app, I'm just going to put his to-do app. And this is one of those trial and error things. If it doesn't work, I'm going to delete my answer. People are going to be like, you are horrible, you suck, that's a horrible answer. But I mean, I feel like it might solve his problem. That's what I would do. Because this should kind of bypass whatever's installed on his system and just use the npx version, which is like correct. I mean, I can look up this other error here and see like what he's experiencing. See what's on GitHub. Okay, this person's experiencing the same thing. Wow. This is horrible. Did you really have to put all that in? Okay. Let me edit this. There we go. Edit this answer and say run the following to clear your npm cache in case that is causing the issues. So that seemed to work for most people based off of what I've researched here. Everyone's like thumbsing up and loving it and hearting that, and yeah. So yeah, that should solve it, I think. Seems to help everyone else. So yeah, that should, yeah. As I've seen, like that solves a lot of people. I know how to start my project creating. I've used the npm start without. Oh, okay. Whenever you try to start your project using create React app, you have to use sudo npm start. Without sudo, only using npm it shows errors. So sudo is for like making it run as an administrator. So it might just be that like you've got like strict administration commands where you can't like access stuff for your folders like saved. So yeah, I'm talking to you, Samir. Yeah, so like basically if I just keep running sudo. That's what I do on my side. Like I have to run that whenever I need to like yarn install. I like sudo yarn install instead, just because like there's some settings there. I mean, we can Google it together and just say like how to run commands in console without running sudo. I think you just have to open your console as the administrator, and then it won't ask you. This is the Windows stuff. um, so yeah, if you open your stuff as administrator, I don't know what device you're on, if you're on Windows or if you're on like Linux or Mac. Yeah, but that's obviously a Mac and Linux issue. Like how do I skip running sudo? It's just painful. Yeah. Anyways, that's like less of a kind of React question, more of an operating system question. Yeah. Sorry, I don't know how to help you. But yeah, the reason is because like it requires like permission from your like it requires special permission. Because it would probably say access denied, I guess, if you ran it without sudo. So it's access denied to some tools that you're using to run your start. But yeah, I guess you can Google that. Okay, I have answered his question, so I'm looking forward to seeing what he says. Okay, he's improved his, or was someone else the one that improved this? Let's go back. Yeah, he improved his question. I wonder if this will solve his issue. I'm looking forward to hearing his response, but we'll see. We'll get a notification if that does solve anything. I'm going to close these other stuff. Great. So did my answer there. Can't arrays array items in an object of arrays. So how would I go about getting the combined count of all items within each of the arrays in the above length? Wait. The combined count. Okay. This is pretty easy. So we're going to do object simply run the following. And I'll write more like answers to how like in a second. I just want to answer it quickly. So that's correct. And that. So he's pretty much on the right track. And now his test here for each his object.values. I'm going to do object.keys at test. So I get all the objects at the keys. And now for each key, I'm going to do a count. I'm going to let count equals 0. And then in here, for each key, we're going to say test at key. So that value dot length. I'm going to say count plus equals that. Okay, I'm going to answer it so long. And just add some other stuff saying you were on the right track. But instead, run this to get all the keys. And then add the length of the object at each key to add to your total count variable. Should do it. People downvoted me, but looking for one-liner. Okay. Okay, right, I didn't read this question properly. Screw it. My bad. Yeah, I'm sorry, dude. I have no idea. It must be some security settings on your Linux that's causing that. I didn't realize. I thought this guy's solution didn't work. His one-liner, yeah, this over here, that's amazing. I love that. Deleted my question. I didn't read the question properly. My bad. See, it's okay. You can make mistakes and then you just delete your stuff. I just added 2 missing lines of code which determine direction of the fish. Also added the CSS. Flip it. Yeah, it freaking helps if you add your stuff. Okay, great. Now we have something to work with. So you need to change the direction movement of the fish when it hits an edge. Try something like this. Okay, you got the game loop. Awesome. I'm gonna make it a lot simpler just so that I can see what's going on. That's where he sets his direction. Like the movement is, the direction is there. What I want to set above is so fish and stuff. He's got all that. Just need to put this into code. I'm gonna make ... up here, and then I'm gonna say let direction equal 1, and fish is gonna plus equal direction. So I mean that's the like, you know, speed and direction. Call it direction speed. Okay, so we're letting that direction speed equal something. Let's call it speed direction, I guess. I'm indecisive, guys. I'm so indecisive. Okay, great. So now when this happens, it's going to make it easier to see what's going on. Instead of running that fish x minus x, we're going to set speed direction. We're going to do a bunch of things in here, actually. So we're going to say if fish, if the fish is smaller than 1, dot x smaller than 1, then we want to say speed direction. And we have speed direction x and speed direction y. Y. There we go. They're going to equal 1 each. Then speed direction. I'm indecisive. What am I doing? The speed direction x is going to equal 1. Great. Then we're going to do an if. We'll do an else if fish x bigger than 500. And I actually wanted to improve this a bit. What am I doing? Oh my word. So instead of saying like that, we're going to say small or equal to 0. Great. That's actually what this top one should be. And then the next one, this is going to be bigger or equal to the, what he had up here. He kept the screen width. So X is for the width, so yeah. Bigger or equal to screen width. Great. Okay, great. So we've got that. And then we're going to do another if else if for the Y side. Fish Y, and this is just going to be screen height. And this over here, we're saying -1. Great. Speed direction Y and speed direction Y. So if it becomes too much in either direction, we change the direction to -1. This should answer the question for him. Notes I've made it more robust by setting the upper limits. I'm gonna spell that right. The upper limits to match your screen height and screen width. Cool. That should be good. There we go. That should solve his problem. So it obviously makes sense. Like he left out the like direction that makes things go forward. And now like what you needed to do is when it hits a boundary, it's got to change direction depending on which boundary it hits. If it hits like the X boundary, like it's gone too far that way, then it needs to bounce back this way. So instead of becoming +1, it must become -1 suddenly. And the reason I call it speed direction is just because you could make it go faster by calling that point like 2 or something, or making it 0.5 or whatever. So that answers that. Hopefully he's like sorted. Haven't lost any reputation for my crappy answers. I need to read better. I think it's the stress of streaming, eh? Anyways, here's a ReactJS React Native question. How do I convert website language into user selected language? Okay, I don't think he's Googled this enough. So I'm gonna close this. Yeah, it needs more focus. He doesn't have like enough focus. I'm also gonna flag it, I guess. Just as very low quality. There we go. Bad question. That'll be closed. I'll lose a bit of reputation like immediately, but I'll probably get it back if it gets properly closed. So that's the thing. It's just like encouraging people to delete their questions if they're not good enough. When you ask questions, you need to be like pretty certain. You need to kind of be like not certain. What is the word? You just need to be like focused. You need to say like, okay, this is what I have tried and stuff like that. And that was a very broad question. Like it's hard to give you like a specific answer to it because it's so broad. Jest, that's cool. JavaScript, JSON. How can I automatically change through what the user chooses from it? This looks horrible. That's messy. Not even gonna bother. Yeah, it wasn't a very nice question. Okay, I've encountered an issue where the select component on Material UI v4 doesn't display the dropdown when it's placed inside the leaflet map sidebar. I don't think I can help this guy. Sorry, I should open this in a new tab. So yeah, I guess if you guys do have any like programming questions and comments, like feel free to ask. I'll try to answer them. Now that I'm focusing, this doesn't work, but if I use material. So what is he saying? Select component. Okay. Inspect. So the select component okay, it does work outside, but it doesn't work inside. What the heck? Why do I keep doing this? So it is opening. Oh my gosh, this is terrible. So when I click on it, it does open. Maybe it's just the Z index of it. So that like adds some stuff. This does not. That's messy. I wonder if you can like set some anchor on it, I guess. I don't know. He's all sad that doesn't work. So like any specific values I can stick in here. Yeah, I don't work with Material UI enough to solve these issues. Someone else can, but it's a good question. Okay, this guy. Let me answer his question. I recommend using PX just because it's less likely to give environment issues. Like overall. But I think clearing cache was the main fix. This is because basically if you didn't clear cache, you would have used incompatible package versions in your attempt to, well, in your attempt to build a create React project. There we go. Okay, getting more answers in there. So there's some free reputation, like plus 35, just like that. Just because I answered that earlier. Yeah, he asked questions and I like explained why. So that was good. I'm glad he tested it and it worked. It's like, you know, now he's able to go and build cool stuff. Awesome. Let me close this. Right, one of the things that I'm doing. Let's close one of these. What am I doing here? Yes, close that. It's just like freaking, I don't need this. Right, what is I doing? Get hooks commit. I don't really use that, but let's check it out anyway. React Native and Expo calendar API. I don't think I'm going to answer a question on that. You heartily thank people. That's funny. Cool. Default calendar on my phone. Yeah, you need to get permissions and stuff. So you're waiting for it, and if the status is granted, that's cool. Then you do the... Okay, if it's not granted, then it asks for permission. Then it says if permission is granted. That's good though. So you didn't get the alert. Okay, where else do you use permission, dude? Okay, you're waiting to obtain the calendar permission. That's cool. It asked for the permission, but didn't add an event to my calendar. And I didn't get the alert. Okay, you didn't get the alert, so permission was granted. Great. So calendar ID equals this dot obtain default calendar ID. What does that do? This is a bit of a mission to figure out. Everything's async, so that's good. Can I tell you what the use effect hook is used for most? I know that it's used for API fetching. Other examples, if I know. Yeah, let me go over that. So use effect, like we used it in our app earlier. Actually, we did a thing like this is the app that I was working on with Kevin in my other live stream, and I think we used it in this profile thing. So like it's basically to, like, in this case I said, okay, if the user changed, like because we're like getting a user profile, if their ID changed, then like we wanted to update the display name, like the state. So it's basically like, you're listening for event changes, and some things might be dependent on something changing. So you can use it in two senses. You can use it on when the component mounts by making this empty. So then you run something inside there. And then you can also use it when the component unmounts by running that return statement. I think we used that in one of our custom hooks that we built. I think we use it in a few. Like if we're monitoring the room state, we want to like stop monitoring the states if the component is unmounted. So yeah, like there's a bunch of stuff that you can kind of use it for. It really just depends on your use case. So like, don't use it if you don't need to use it, but if there's some reason you need to like keep track of, like if you want to listen for an event change on a component, the use effect's great because you just put the dependencies in that array, and then when one of these changes, you can do like a bunch of like if stuff. It'll set stuff like change values according to something else changing. So yeah, that's pretty much that. Well, it's not changing values, it's running functions. I mean, this is current user value should change if current user or the user ID changes, but like that's a use memo. Use effect just means go do something when something else changes. And in this case, when something else changes, we, call that. Yeah, nobody's chatting because there's only 4 people online, and probably 2 of them are my parents, so they don't really comment much because they don't really know what's going on. They just like hearing my voice. So that's the thing. Great. Cool. Okay, yeah, I used MPX earlier and it didn't work. Yeah, I just recommend using MPX over, just normal create React up here because like it solves most people's problems. Schedule function in Firebase to saving new docs as one big doc with ID being combined. Okay, this is interesting. I like the question just because it's relevant to what we're gonna do. Cannot it be done by use? Okay, by use state? No, it can't, because use state. Look, I'm using use state in here. This is use state over there. I'm changing the value with use state. That's true, but I only want to change the value if the user has changed, and the only way for me to know that the user has changed is by putting it in this use effect. So I'm monitoring if the user changes. If the user does change, then I want to change the display name to the like user display name. I mean, I could put another if statement in here and say if like user.display name is not equal to the like current display name, then I'm not unnecessarily setting the display name to something else. But like, yeah, it's a useful little thing. Did I forget to get add stuff in here? Sorry, this is a project for, it is, oops, my bad. I need to commit my changes. Committed changes from earlier. Yeah, it's initial data load, so yeah, very cool. Yeah. I mean, I find it pretty easy to read and not find circular dependencies, but like, yeah, if you just keep your use effect hook simple, then you should be fine. And yeah, what I usually do is like we make custom hooks based off of existing, things here so that you don't end up with those problems. Um, but yeah, SG707 Tech answered it quite well. But yeah, use effect's great. You can use it for a lot of different things. You can't use state for what I described here because you don't know when to change the state. Um, you've only got this initial state, and the component might not remount. They could change the user who's logged in without like remounting the component. Anyway, that said, I'm gonna head back to Stack Overflow. Good questions, by the way, and thanks for your answers. um, he just ran into this chat by random. I'm a React developer. I didn't hate React, but it's fine. Yeah, I'm also a React developer who doesn't hate React. Thanks for hopping in and kind of clarifying like things. Yeah. So, anyways, I'm chilling, answering random questions on Stack Overflow. I'm using React CSS module. I want to change the property. Okay, that's a bad question. Gonna close it. Needs details or clarity, or needs more focus, I guess. It's such a broad. I guess it is more detail and clarity. It's just this person hasn't shown that they tried anything. It's a low quality post, so I'm flagging it, and yeah, we'll get that person out of there and learn to ask more concise questions. Great. Okay, that person's got an answer already. Text focus input blurring when first clicked. It's like putting handle functions in here. So when I first click on the text focus, it comes down to focus, but then immediately blurs. Okay, so he clicks on it and then it unfocuses, resulting in background flashing and then disappearing. What's strange about it is after the first click, the future clicks work absolutely fine. Focuses and blurs. I don't understand why the initial clicks and focus immediately. So why have you got the handle input focus in the first place? He's saying so I think you should set by default the focus to none. I think that's his issue. Yeah, there's a lot of things like, like hidden stuff behind React rendering, you're right. Fortunately, it's like that typical thing of like only really worry about optimizing it when you experience issues. So yeah. But yeah, the passing style attributes thing, I hate passing style attributes. So that's cool anyway. I feel like this person should just set their default is focused state. Sorry, I'm thinking is focused. Where does he have his focused on here? And he's got a on focus. He sets it to focus, and then he's got an on blur. How do you trigger the on blur? Let me just ask a question then, yeah. Is there a reason you set the initial focused states to null instead of false? I don't like know React Native well enough right now to do this. I haven't worked on React Native stuff in years, so yeah, that's a thing. Yeah, I'm wondering why this guy's experiencing this issue. Like, I would just assume that you don't like I guess he wants to update the view if it's focused, so that makes sense. So he's making the focused. Let me just look up React Native text input and see if you can make the focus part controlled. Passing like that on below breaks the memorized components as well. Yeah, it's use callback everywhere. Yeah. I know the feels. You have to add use callback to everything. Okay. So this on blur. Yeah, actually flip. I feel like their main problem here is they're using class components, and obviously you're gonna run into freaking issues like that if you're not like getting with the times. But yeah. The React Native text input, is there like a way to actually just I want to see all the props that are for this used for this thing. So auto capitalize, auto complete, auto focus, blur on submit. Okay, there doesn't seem to be a focused. Yeah, don't know this stuff well enough. I'm sure someone else will get to it. It's a weird question. Just not using React Native enough to know like how those text inputs work. Anyway, that guy's got an answer. You got too much permanent React scarf for a couple of years. Yeah, that's cool, dude. It's I don't know, I love it. Like, you know, when you do it long enough, you just like it sticks and you're like, cool, I can build anything and it feels good. um like React.js was the first framework that I like decided to like specialize in. Before that I was like, I started off like as an entry level full stack dude, and then I went to front end and just did like everything front end, and then like, yeah, when I got to React, I was just like, I'm gonna do this properly. So yeah, I learned it properly, which was really cool. Cool. I do think I'm gonna give this a close soon, just because I'm not getting anywhere. And I'm getting tired. I need to head soon, but yeah, I'll hang on for a little bit. I fixed bottom banner that will be shown to user, but the banner should be visible. Wow. Okay. This guy needs to show more information. Needs more details. It's very much like assumes we know what he's done. It's like, what did he do? I need to see his existing code to help him with anything. React drag and drop is quite fun. I used this in a project once. So any question about it is a good question because he's like going hardcore and it just looks like a good question. So on the top one, yep, you've imported it and wrapped it. Great. Awesome. He's done his thing. Import use drag from React DND. Export default. Blah, blah, blah. What is this? Oh, it's just like really messy code. It's like hard to read. I'm gonna fix it for him. So you've made this component here. It's important to do that. Just so. Wait, did I do that right? No. Cool. That, and then like that. Cool. I'll just like be OCD and make his stuff a little bit better so I can read it better. cool. That's just gonna help people read it better. So yeah, React D&D is awesome. I love it. I haven't used it in like 2 years, but it's cool. That little edit issue here, like, but it was a lot of fun. Yeah, Samir, there's like a lot of different like ways that you can style components. You can make CSS files. I like to use styled components. You can use inline styles. I hate CSS files and inline styles just because I run into so many issues. Yeah. I've used Why Did You Render for React, like also in a project like back when I was doing the drag and drop stuff like ages ago. But I think I don't use it in my main work projects because I feel bad. So yeah. But yeah, pretty much. It's good. Don't use inline CSS style stuff. It's just messy, messes up your JSX. Rather use CSS files is better. And then again, I kind of recommend styled components. It's just much easier to keep your styles separate that way, and keep your JSX clean. It's all about keeping this JSX clean. Anyway, then in his components, he's done this. He's got this use drag thing, and he makes an item type persona. Ref drag. Okay, I don't know how to help this guy. Node.set attribute is not a function of backing connect drag. So if I hadn't worked it, this is enough. But at least I edited his question to make it a bit nicer. Yes, I am just avoiding the truth on rendering performance. That is correct. So like some context, I work in like a very small team. Like we're 2 front-end devs. And we're like building like a massive app, which is just like this. Basically it's that common like issue of like I've got to like deliver something that works nicely, and I can't spend too much of my time like making it perfect. So I would deliver something that works really well, and if there's some unavoidable or render stuff, then there's issues. And the problem is like, so my colleague doesn't really focus on this too much either. So like even if I do start doing it on my side, I have to go back and clean up all his code to do it on his side too, which is just like so yeah, if we hired more devs and I got to focus on like being like the performance dev, then totally I'd love to like optimize our app as much as possible, but like in the end I get paid to like deliver features. So that's why on the side I get to do fun projects, and when I'm doing my own projects on the side, then I'm like a crazy perfectionist. But like at work I'm sort of a perfectionist. I try to keep our code base very organized, but yeah, it's like I hate it. I hate it so much sometimes. Cool. So totally got distracted here. Can't get props.match.params.id. It said props is undefined. Well, that's because you forgot to add in with router. What? No, I don't think that's the answer. I think it's because you forgot to use React router. So yeah, you need to use the wherever he did this. Where's his dot? Okay, cool. I'm gonna copy this whole thing and say you need to make use of the use params hook for this instead. Try this. Sorry, I'll like look at you guys in a second. I'm just copying his code and saying like const id is going to equal use params. And then use params comes from React router. From React router, I'm going to say React router DOM. Cool, easy answer there. I'm going to edit it now to make it look a bit better, but just to get it out there so you can. From React router DOM. You could also use the like with router higher order component here, but I mean, I just like think, yeah, it's better. TypeScript, love it. TypeScript is the best. I did a live stream in React and JS first. I did it like 2 weeks ago, and then we moved to TypeScript. You should really do TypeScript. I agree. It's amazing. Like once you go to TypeScript, you can't go back. Okay, over here, I'm just gonna say like ... like leave stuff out. ... 2, 3. So I'm pretty much just you know, making this like all like, okay, do a little bit more, blah 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 blah. Great. Cool. Let me make this like 2-liners. Just cleaning up code. There we go. It's a lot cleaner. It goes straight to the root of the problem. That's not going to solve anything because you need to use the with router thing there. Yeah, oh my word. Java's like TypeScript is amazing because you can just like, it suddenly makes all your code so much more readable. It's going to tell you what's wrong in like the console instead of telling you what's wrong like 2 years later, and you just see everything like immediately. Oh, I haven't used React Use library before. Let's check them out. The Lodash version of hooks. I mean, like one of my lead devs was so against Lodash because he's like, you have to import the whole library, and I'm like, well, you know, we could just like change it so that our app only like imports the pieces that we need from Lodash. So yeah, I don't like using Lodash for the sake of using Lodash. Like if I can avoid it, like and only use it for like complicated functions, then I do that. Like using their debounce function is nice, and yeah, that's my thing. Sweet. So I answered that question. I have a comment here. Forgot I left that as no reason other than act of desperation to try to get this work. It doesn't solve anything. Yeah, I didn't think it would solve it. It was just a slight hunch. Not sure how to help you, sorry. Yeah, you can import small pieces of Lodash. I'm doing that on our project now. So, like, yeah, it's great. It's great when you just import the bits you need. But like, I find it like annoying when like, so like again, when I joined my like my team now, which is like a 2-man front-end team, I was just like so annoyed that like my colleague was using like Lodash for like basic like functions like map. So he'd use it for like literally things that work in normal like ES6. So it was like, you don't need to use Lodash for that. Rather use it for like, I don't know, just other things. Like don't use it for the basic stuff where, we're already capable of getting, mapping through an array normally by saying array.map instead of saying like Lodash map array and then the callback, I actually find the syntax nicer to say array.map in the callback like that. Yeah, that's true. If we use CDN to load Lodash, should actually look into those stuff because I haven't like focused too much on our main projects, like implementation of all these things. But yeah, we'll get there. There'll be a time and a place for it in my main projects. Just right now, I'm under so much sort of pressure. Pressure for work, but at the same time I'm like, just like, yeah, when I'm spending time on like, you know, my career job, I'm like kind of like just like, okay, I have specific goals that I need to meet, and at the moment my main task is making everything mobile responsive, so I'm focusing on that, and then I'm not going to do anything else unless like, you know, I'm dedicated, like given time to do that. So yeah, this is an Angular question. Not sending property providers by getter. I'm sorry if you like experiencing me answering late. It is like there's like a 15-second delay, so I like read your message and then respond. Cool. I don't know how to answer this. I don't know why I looked at it. I guess I just saw TypeScript and I was like, yay, TypeScript. Yeah, sweet. I unable to persist the checkboxes. This guy. When I have changed the component and can return back, I want to. Okay, so he just wants to make sure that the stuff is persisted. I mean, there's a lot of ways to do this. You could use local storage. Yeah, totally want to approve that. I like was lazy on my reviews, so I can't really do stuff. Yeah, I think it's just the life cycle of where our project's at. Like we're not live yet, so we're not like we've only started doing code reviews like recently. So we're expecting to kind of slow down, but I mean it's also been fun. It's been fun to like move fast and break things. So that's like cool. But yeah, we will move over to that kind of way of coding sometime. Okay, this guy needs to persist like his state. So it basically means that whenever this changes, he needs to like store that change in a persisted like thing at the same time, and then set his initial state to match the persist state. React persist state. There we go. Persisting or React state in 9 lines. So they make a custom hook, but I'm not going to give that as a solution to this guy, should I? And he's using class components instead of moving over to functional stuff, so he's not even going to really be able to use these hooks too well. I don't like mixing them. Like I just feel like it feels dirty. Okay, cheers, Samir. Thanks for the questions. Appreciate it. So I guess you just got to do a local storage.set item, and then a local storage.get item a key. So let me do a local storage.get item key. So what he's pretty much got to do is change his this state. You need to save those values to local storage. I mean, there's obviously way better, like more robust ways for this, but like this is just an answer that's gonna get this guy going. So React, that's great. Like that's epic. Thanks for mentioning that. I should check that out. Yeah, that's cool. But this guy's not using it, so let me give him like a old school way. of doing it. I don't like to just like recommend a library that does it to local storage. Change your, is he calling it initial, like change your initial state to this, and in here we'll take his this dot state. I guess that thing that we saved to the local storage values, they're strings, right? I think they're strings. So if we use the get key, get item checkbox, and then we said it's equal to true, then we'll return true, otherwise false. And then in your handle change, she made it caps letters. Oh, it's disgusting. In your change checkbox, handler, add this line at the bottom of it. So this is messy. I would much rather use local storage like you've mentioned, but yeah. So when he runs that at the bottom, you just set the value to string. What am I doing? Okay, so you set the value checkbox, and then over here we're gonna set e.target.value.toString constable. If someone complains that I could do it without converting it to a string, then like I'll just edit my answer. Yeah. Oh, it's e.target.checked. Or I'll just set it to value actually, because he already set the value. Has he? Yeah. Oh, flip. What the heck? Yeah. Oh, he's got multiple values. Flip. Does he? No, he doesn't. Don't know why he's got all this stuff in here. Just go set it to e.target.checked then. Do you have a Discord channel to communicate? No, I don't. I might consider setting one up actually. It's a good idea. I should consider setting that up just because I can. Okay, this should solve the guy's problem. Just add some text at the bottom. This updates the value at the local storage. Oh, I guess storage key that you provide. And then sets your initial state to that key value that is saved in local storage. Okay, good enough. Great. I don't have a Discord channel, but I will consider creating one, just because why not, you know, like it'll be fun. I should like totally do that actually. Because then I can answer questions to you guys randomly and I can have an idea of like what you want answered and stuff. much better than just live streaming randomly. Honestly, dude, yeah, dude, it's a pleasure. Like, I never really had like time to do it before, or I guess before I wasn't just good at it, but like lately I find it as like a quite a fun little hobby to do on the side. Some people are insane; they're just like always at it. But yeah, it's like one of those things where like you learn a lot in it because it forces you to think about like solutions and solutions that will work nicely and cleanly and like you get to see how other people would have answered a tough question. So yeah, I find it really cool. Look, I got like plus 25. There's the bouncing animation one. This guy was happy I got it to work for him, so it's like what I did earlier. um yeah, it's also just good for a resume. Like again, like if I show someone that I've got like 500 or 5,000 like stuff here, then awesome. I mean, one of the things that I did, actually, cool thing to show you. So I was having this issue with like some TypeScript like generation thing. Like we're using these Google Protobuf things for work. Like we use gRPC Web, and like our TypeScript definition files weren't being like built properly. So it meant that like our IDE wasn't acting nicely to it, and like we just ignored the files obviously. But I want to prefer like not to ignore this and just have this work. But anyway, so this whole like you know file generator wasn't working for me, and I was like, oh, this sucks. So I went to go like ask here, and I added like a bounty with my reputation and just gave like a full bounty for it. And yeah, yeah, people should use Stack Overflow rep points instead of knowing stupid algorithms about problem solving. Yeah, exactly. It's about yeah. That's exactly it. Like you're in your work interviews, people should use that. Then you can see that people are capable of like solving problems. Um, so I use that as a great thing for like I'm not really looking for work at the moment, but if I was ever like to become like retrenched or something in my company, I'd easily find work using this. Um, but yeah, example, I used my bounty and my reputation points to like get a question answered, and actually meant that the owners like came and said, okay, we made a fix for it on the main GitHub page. Like, so I just have to wait for an updated version here. And it was like, cool. It helps get attention to your problems that need to be solved as well. So that's another nice use for it. But yeah, I like the way that they've gamified like question and answering. That's, people are just addicted to that reputation. um, yeah, so I think that's gonna be me. Let's just do a quick scan, see if we find anything useful. Using the state hook to count inside of promises. Okay, it's a pretty good question actually. Or I just want to encourage him to ask good questions, I guess. Like, so he's using the state hook. I think his problem here. Oh my gosh, that's long. Has he got a use state? No, he's not. I'm not gonna actually bother typing this question out because I'm like freaking lazy now. But like, I want to count up all directly saved elements. Ugh, I don't feel like looking at that. Good question though, totally good. Don't know why it's a good question. I just don't feel like looking at it. But yeah, I think that's gonna be me, guys. I'm gonna head off. It's been a good like, how long have we been recording for? Like an hour and a half almost. So lots of fun stuff. I enjoyed this. I think I'm gonna have more of these. This was fun, like because it's just more time to actually sit back and chat and engage with comments. So like, if there's like empty space, we can like answer questions, and if there's not, then we can do more work. So thanks for watching, guys. I really appreciate it. I think yeah, Samir is probably, I don't know if he's still here or not, but like I think that idea of opening a Discord chat does sound good. I'm gonna look into doing that. I'll do it like later in the week, like midweek, maybe around Wednesday, because I've got quite a busy schedule up until Wednesday, and then things calm down a bit. Like I'm studying on the side, so it keeps me quite busy. But yeah, guys, that's me. I'd love to, yeah, cheers, SG70 Tech. Don't 707 Tech. Don't know your real name, but it's totally cool. It's been cool chatting. I really appreciate your comments, man. Yeah, and thank you so much. Anyways, guys, we'll see you next time.